Like it or not, eyes are Want to flit. I thought that said flirt. I want to flirt. Judge Brett, behind the woman student persona, was the face of... Bang! I'm positive. Queen Victoria, obviously. Okay, get him out of here. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? I am the story-driven gamer, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are finally hopping back into the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. We are jumping into specifically the second one. What's it called? The Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve. Actually, I forgot to double check. But no, I'm pretty sure that's what it's called, right? I can go here really quickly. Yep, The Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve. Oh, that music. I didn't actually select it yet. If we go back here, this is where we left off. This is literally where we left off in the last game, the dock, where we saw Susato off. Oh man, and it's been a while since I played the first one, so I'm really looking forward to hopping in, finally. First I'm going to do a quick recap of the first game, starting with the prologue, or the first episode rather, so stay tuned. No, I'm kidding. We'll be here for, that'll be the episode. An hour later I'll be finishing up. No, but I will say, like, most of the Ace Attorney games feel very, like, singular. You know, meaning, like, you know, you get through one game, the next game kind of has nothing to do with the previous game, and then the next one has nothing to do with the others. There were definitely connections, like there might be returning characters, they might reference things about characters and things that happen, but overall, the overall story, it's not like, they don't feel like full-on sequels where you're continuing the story of the last. This game left us off in a way that feels like we will be touching on stuff. Like, it ended with Gregson being a government agent, and he was working with Ashley. Egbert Benedict, that was what he was going by. And then, like, I think Gregson was on... When we finally found out what was on that disc in the last game, Gregson's name was on there. I think we found out Cosimo was on there. There was even a guy that I was like, I don't think I recognize that name. So, maybe it's somebody we even saw briefly in the last game, or maybe it's going to be a new character that'll appear in this game, but the way they left us off, it feels like there'll be, you know, there'll be some continuation there. And then, of course, we had Susato leaving for Japan. I don't know if this whole game takes place in England again, or if maybe we go back to Japan, I don't know. Anyway, I don't want to talk too much about the last game. Like I said, I could sit here and there's so much to unpack, but, you know, obviously I gave my thoughts at the end of the last game. So, I'm just excited to be back, though. I'm excited to see what this game has in store for me. The last two games I played were on the short side, and I know this will be a lengthy one, so... And it's also been a while since I've done... Actually, I think the last thing that involved any kind of, like, me trying to do lots and lots of reading, and, like, you know, my amateur voice acting, whatever, was the first game. The first Ace Attorney game. So... I'll have to get used to that. I'll have to get used to getting back into that kind of mode. You know, just reading for 1 to 2 hours, or however long. So, like, there's these escapade things, which are, like, short extra episodes. I think some of the other more recent Ace Attorney games had them. Some of them might be for the first game, but I wasn't sure which ones, because they were just in one list. So, I figured this is something we might tackle. I don't think there's any gameplay element to them. I think they're just episodes that you watch or read and watch. So I'm gonna check that out, probably at the end of this game. There's also the tailor, which has some outfits. I'm gonna play around with those throughout the game. I can show you what they look like here. That looks pretty cool, actually. What's that supposed to be? Oh, Iris's homemade suit, so I guess she made it for... Okay, and then homemade dress. Oh, that's cute! It almost looks like an idol outfit or something. I like that a lot, though. That's cute. And Sholmes has one as well. Oh, God. Okay, that looks a little weird. I definitely prefer that one, but there is a trophy for getting all the outfits, or for, you know, having them all wear an outfit. So what I might do is I might play, like, the first chapter in their original outfits. I might put, then the second chapter, I might put one of them in a new outfit. Basically, each chapter, I'll put one of the characters in a new outfit, and then probably, you know, the other character that I changed, I'll put them back to their original outfit or something like that. Just so it's not like overload where I'm just like, let's put them all in these weird outfits, you know? But I want to get that trophy, and I think it'll be fun. It'll be fun, like, just changing it up every chapter. And then that'll be enough, because that means 4 chapters worth of costume changes, and there's 5 chapters, so the last chapter they'll all just be back in their original outfit. I looked at the trophies, just like I did in the last game. There's a trophy, a specific, like, thing you gotta do for each chapter. This one was easy enough. It said like, pick, I forget the names. One of them was like Ouchie. I forget the names, but it was pick these 2 people, name them as the victim in the first chapter. So fair enough, that seems easy enough. That's probably gonna be part of the tutorial. That's really all I have to say. I've been talking long enough. I'll try not to talk as much in the other episode, just that jumping into a sequel, a new game, I just wanted to kind of catch you up on what I'm doing, how I'm tackling it. Very briefly, this is a story-intensive game, so please, no spoilers. You know, obviously, no overt spoilers, but even stuff like if I have a guess as to what's going on, and in the comment you're like, oh, you're on the right track, or, oh, that's close, but not exact, stuff like that. I don't need to hear that. Like, I want to be as blind as possible. Like, advice is okay, as long as it's not, leading me to any deductive reasoning. Because I want to figure everything out on my own, especially for those who haven't played the game. But yeah, that's really, one other thing I'm going to say is that I don't know whether I'm going to do a face cam for this or not. I'm recording with a face cam. Obviously, you're watching this now, so you'll know what I chose to do as you're watching it, if you see me or not. But just so you know, just because I felt that I started using Facecam with Life is Strange, and I'm also using it with The Quarry, and I like it. But because this game is a lot of reading, and I'm going to try and do, like I did in the last game, I'm going to try and do, like, voice acting and stuff. I don't know what kind of faces I make. I might be making some weird faces and doing some weird stuff that just looks strange. And I feel like it might take away from it a little bit, like seeing me doing the voices instead of just, hearing me and then seeing the characters make, talk or whatever. Again, I don't claim to be some great voice actor. Quite the contrary. I'm quite an amateur, but I try my best. And you can let me know in the comments, if you want me to do that, or if you'd rather me just read. If it's not working for you guys, let me know. But okay, enough talking. Let's hop in. I guess we have to select the new game, so we'll just select it right from here. New game. There we go. It's gonna hop us right in, or drop us right in. Ooh. Okay, nice sunny, cloudy day it looks like. Like the scenery. Ah, Susato, my favorite. I love Susato. I have to remember what I gave everybody.
Here in the bright sunshine, looking out over the vast ocean.
Is this a shrine? A grave?
Seem like a dream. But I do miss my time in England's vast capital.
Is that where... Am I still over there? You miss me, right?
He's flourished into a truly wonderful lawyer.
That he did.
I've no doubt that at this very moment, he's fighting some noble cause in court.
Or he's going through a tutorial, because he forgot everything that he learned in the last game.
Forgive me.
One of those.
For taking so long to come to visit you.
Oh, is this Kazuma's grave?
My life has been such a whirlwind since I returned. And no one could have predicted what has happened. Just 2 months after arriving home.
I find myself faced with another awful crime. Oh gosh, what happened? Oh! It's her! I recognize her immediately. I forget her name.
So I came here today to ask something of you. Tomorrow, I shall be standing in court.
Rise from your grave. Join me.
As a lawyer.
Susato's a lawyer? She's not just assistant anymore? Oh my god, do I get to do the tutorial as her?
So please, I ask for your
Oh my
guidance.
god! Please tell me that's what's happening.
Kazuma-sama.
Kazuma-sama. I will scream. No, I won't scream, but I will be very happy. But that's the girl from the prologue of the last game. What I keep calling it the prologue. The first chapter, the first episode of the last game. The Adventure of the Blossoming something. I'm sorry. I was too busy freaking out. 13th of August, 8:26 a.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Defendant's Antechamber, Trace. Yes! Here I am, again after 9 months. The Supreme Court of Judicature of Japan. I feel so nervous, but I must steel my nerves and find a way to compose myself. Ah, that's her father, right? Ah, good, you're here. It doesn't do for a lawyer to be late. Oh, yes, good morning, sir. Maybe that's not her father, I forget, but... I hardly recognize you. You cut a fine figure, counsel. He's definitely not talking to me like a daughter. But you look as white as a sheet, and those wide eyes are doing you any favors either. Oh dear. The truth is, I'm so incredibly nervous, I feel utterly nauseated. See, I don't mind. I like doing a tutorial this way, where we're doing it as a different rookie lawyer. You know, it makes sense. I just remember the second Phoenix Wright game where they we're like, what do you do? He got hit on the head and just got amnesia and had to relearn everything, and that takes you out of it. You're like, okay, sure, just an excuse to have him go through a tutorial again. But then, like in other games, they kind of take this approach where you're playing as somebody else who it's their first time in the lawyer seat, so it makes sense. Did I read this already? The truth is, yes, I did. I almost wish that I'd never been born. Calm down, Susato. It's not that serious. Goodness! Not the sort of thing a father... Okay, there we go. Not the sort of thing the father hopes to hear from his daughter, I must say. Calm down. Do we need to call the suicide hotline? Yujin Mikutoba. Oh, that's one of the guys I need to, name as a victim. Obviously, I'm sure it's the wrong answer. Professor of Medicine at the Imperial Yume University. That's the same university that, Wilson died in, right? A man who earlier in his life traveled to Great Britain to study the latest advances in forensic medical science. And of course, my brilliant father. Excuse me. Oh, who the heck are you? New girl. Okay, now I gotta give her a voice, have to somehow differentiate her from Susato? Would I be correct in thinking that you were to be my lawyer in court today? I don't know. Maybe I'll just give him the same voice, I don't know. Yes, that's right, miss. Well, I want to thank you for agreeing to represent me. I swear on my life. Oh, she's a bit more intense. It's a complete fabrication, this whole thing. Rei Membami. Born the same year as I and my greatest friend. Though unusual for a woman in our time, she works at the University Research Laboratory, helping my father. Slicing through gender norms. And sadly, she's a defendant in today's trial. So you killed Swan Hat Lady? Is that what happened? Or, supposedly. Accused of committing a truly awful murder. Are you feeling alright? Since you started talking, you seem, well, to have become a little flushed. Oh my, it's just that you look so gallant and dashing. Sorry? Are you hitting on me? And when I fall under your intense gaze, it makes me feel rather bashful. She is, isn't she? Okay. Goodness, I don't think she knows. She hasn't realized who I am. Wahahahaha! It would seem our little plan for this trial is going to work. Oh, what do you mean, Professor Mikutova? If even your best friend can't see through the disguise, I think we can relax. Wait, is this really a guy? Disguise? Yes. I never tried dressing this way before, of course. Oh, I'm the one in disguise. So I wasn't sure how convincing it would be. But this does make me feel a little relieved, as you say, Father. Father? I'm confused. What? Is that you, Susato? You betcha. I'm so sorry I didn't say something sooner, Ray. It's just that... No, what are you doing? What's going on? What? That varsity uniform, that varsity cap, that varsity cape, that varsity badge. Am I the one dressed as a guy? I want to see what I look like. Look at you. You look for all the world just like a student at the Imperial Yume University. A male student. Oh, I kind of want to see I'm curious what I look like. I'm so glad you think so. It means all my preparations have been worthwhile. I woke up 4 this morning to make a start. I wonder, is it something like... Because again, this obviously takes place way in the past. I forget the year. But maybe are women not allowed to be lawyers, maybe? So maybe I have to pretend to be a man? A Mulan situation? But I don't understand. Why are you dressed like that? Well, you see... It was the only way. The only way she would be permitted into the Supreme Court to take on your defense in this trial. My defense? Never before in my life have I felt so frustrated at having been born into this body. Courts in Japan are barred to women. We're not even allowed to set foot inside the courtroom. Oh, I didn't know that. Despite the fact that the laws of the land apply to all people, male and female alike. But women are forbidden. You must fight for the honor of Japan. I'll be leaving my true self at the courtroom door, so that I can act as your lawyer. Oh, Susato. You go to such lengths for me? I must be one hot guy, because not knowing who I was, she was immediately hitting on me. Of course, you're my greatest friend. I just worry that I shan't be the lawyer you deserve. Oh no, I have complete faith in you. Ray. It's so strange though. I mean, you're such an accomplished judicial assistant already. That I am. I have a reputation. And yet, just because you're a woman, you're a wretched reason. Oh, what a wretched reason. I mean, why shouldn't you be allowed in court? You're so gallant and dashing. Ray? Please don't look at me like that with those flushed cheeks and doting eyes. Oh, I'm sorry, it's just you really do look so dashing. I'm very confused. Yes, you mentioned that once or twice. Wahahaha! You should be pleased. It means you look convincing as a man. I am pleased, I think. It certainly helped to bolster my confidence today. Ray. You're managing to put on a brave face in all this, but I can see through it. I've noticed how your shoulders are slumped, and how you're trembling ever so slightly. Yeah. She does have a bit of an intensity about her, though. Susato. You do believe me, don't you? I didn't do it. I couldn't have. I mean, murder. Of course. You have nothing to worry about. Your conscience is perfectly clean. Isn't that right? Yes. Yes, it is. Perfectly clean. I have absolutely no doubt in my mind about your innocence. Which is why I'll stand by you until the bitter end in this trial. Whatever happens, I'll always be on your side. Because that's what it means to be a defense lawyer. Ryunosuke taught me that, and Kazuma. That means so much to me, Susato.
Defendant, counsel, court is about to begin.
Proceed to the courtroom at once. Okay, it's time. Our first trial of the game. You should go in at once, Ray. If you're late, the judge won't hesitate to pronounce you guilty. Oh. That would suck. Stand aside! I can't let that happen. I don't think I've ever seen her run so fast. She pushes the bailiff out of the way. Move! Well, Susato, you certainly surprised your father. Going to such lengths to be admitted into the courtroom, with no prior experience of being a lawyer. I realized I was giving him kind of a British accent, but he's very Japanese, so. There was simply no other way. That's all there is to it. But father, you haven't told her, have you? I mean, I'm right in assuming that Ray doesn't know how it came to this? Yes, quite right. I've kept that information from her. It would only worry her if she found out that no other lawyer would agree to take her case. I didn't want to burden her with that. And is it true? The reason why every other lawyer is refusing to take the case? Is it really because of who the victim was? Oh, does it have to do with the, cause she's... Oh! Jesselie Brett, that was her name, right? I don't know why it just came to me. It was something like that, right? But yeah, she was from England. So I think, does it have to do then with, I forget, what did they call it? It was like, has something to do with foreign affairs, like the British and Japanese, somebody from England being killed in Japan. Or something. I don't know. We'll find out more about what happened. We should be making a move now, too. As you know, law isn't my field, but I'll do what I can to support my student. Thank you, Father. I am Susato Mikitova, a judicial assistant. Not anymore. You are now a full-fledged lawyer. 8 months ago, I accompanied a student of law on a study trip to Great Britain. But 2 months ago, due to unforeseen circumstances, I found myself back in Japan. How many times have I wished that he were here? I wonder. Still, I have no choice now but to steel myself for the trial ahead. Let's do this. You're at the helm now. Wish me luck, Naruhodo-san. Hey Susato, this is Ryunosuke. I'm watching from the galley. I traveled all this way to see you. To see your court debut. 13th of August, 9 a.m., Supreme Court of Judicature, Courtroom 1. So I wonder, is she gonna go by a different name or something? I mean, Susato sounds like... I'm no expert on Japanese names, but Susato sounds like a girl's name, so she must have an alias. Most likely. Oh, there's Ray. Oh wait, I didn't see what I look like. The court is now in session to hear the trial of Ray Membami. That's been my generic judge voice. So I know technically this judge is Japanese, but give him that deep English accent. The prosecution is fully ready to proceed, Your Excellency. I miss voicing you. It's of course... Oh, ouchie, okay. Oh, look at me. I love it. I'm very glad I didn't use a costume then, because then we would have been robbed of this moment. Defense counsel, are you ready? Yes, Your Excellency. We are ready. Ready! Why do you sound like a girl? Don't worry about it. Ah, yes, counsel. According to your registration details, your name is, Ryutaro Naruhodo, is that correct? Sounds familiar, but I'll let it slide. Ryutaro, okay. Sorry? She's adorable, though. Oh yes, I had come up with a suitable male name for you for this little venture. So I'm afraid to say I simply put down the first name that sprung to mind. Well, counsel? Yes, that's right. That's me. I forget. What was my name again? Yes, I am Ryutaro. He who has vowed to uphold the pride of the great Naruhodo clan. That's me, yep. Ah, okay. It seems Ryotaro may need to consider how better to uphold his manly act first and not overdo it. And those wild, wide eyes aren't doing you any favors either. Just relax and listen. Naruhodo? A fresh face in this courtroom, if I'm not mistaken. But the name Naruhodo, will that perchance be? You may be thinking of Ryunosuke Naruhodo, currently in Britain as part of a study program. This is, his cousin. Can you believe it? That's right. Ryotaro here has been studying in the provinces but was called to the capital for this trial. I assure you, in matters of law, his knowledge rivals that of any of Tokyo's preeminent lawyers. Any of them! I'm a genius. Tut tut tut! What a pitiful situation! Having been rejected by every lawyer in the capital, the accused has had to call in a country boy. How dare you! I'll kill you! Susato is every bit as gallant and dashing as any of the Tokyo attorneys. I won't have you making fun of her. Him. Her? Oh, don't listen to me. I'm an idiot. Please be careful, Ray. Don't blow this before it even begins. Shh. Haha. What an unrefined tomboy we have here. But I wonder, is your gallant and dashing lawyer up to the challenge of defending you? His wide, skittish eyes very much suggest that he is not. I'm so nervous. Damn it all, why? I was gonna say, it's like, it would be nervous enough just being up here, but being up here in disguise, because if you're found out to be a woman, she'll be in deep trouble. That's like double the nerves. Did I read this? I'm starting to understand what Naruhodo-san goes through. Like it or not, eyes are want to flit. I thought that said flirt. I want to flirt. I love it. I love her eyes are just kind of like moving all around, like she's so timid and scared. It's understandable though. The case to be heard on this day is a matter of great significance to our national interests. In fact, it would be reasonable to assume that the outcome of this trial may well affect the very future of our empire. Just like the trial 9 months ago. Okay, is that the trial I was referring? Is that how long ago the, I guess it would be the first trial from the last game took place, because that had to do with this lady. And yet, for proceedings of such importance, we have this unknown yokel by the dock. Oh my gosh, my voice is cracked. Excuse me, dear me. Huh. Perhaps this would be an appropriate moment for me to assess the defense. To determine whether you are sufficiently competent to practice in this courtroom. 9 months ago, when a certain other Naruhodo stood where you're standing now, this same judge tested him as well. And even though he was just a student at the time, not even of law, he passed the test with flying colors. For a trained and experienced judicial assistant like you, this will be easy. So, counsel, do you consent to answering some simple questions? I was born ready. All right, it's time to prove myself. I don't know why. Sorry if I'm a broken record, but I just love her look. She did the face slap. My cousin taught me that. Yes, Your Excellency. But please do make them simple. I'm begging you. Very well. To start with, you will state the name of the victim. Phew. That is simple. I couldn't forget that if I tried. Damn it all. What's the matter? Nothing, don't worry about it. Now that I'm standing in his shoes, I'm starting to understand something else Naruhodo-san goes through. Like it or not, minds are want to blank. And now is that time. It's not surprising, really. It's your first time in this position and in that guise. Yeah, I was gonna say, that'll affect her. Even a bright spark like you is bound to flicker and falter a little under the circumstances. Oh dear, this is a dismal failure. I don't deserve this badge. Don't fret, you need only use the knowledge you've gained as a judicial assistant to overcome the problem. Of course. The court record. My handy-dandy court record. Yes, the answer will be amongst all the key information about the case. In the court record. That's right. Just use R1 to open the court record. Then you need to flip to the people section with R1. And don't take too long over it. His Excellency is watching you closely. This isn't Danganronpa though, so you have all the time in the world. Alright, check the court record with R1. That's where the information I need will be. Okay, so should I do it now? Okay, let's take a look. Post-mortem report. Time of death is just after 2 p.m. Death is believed to be due to trauma to the victim's lung from a knife blade. Only a single wound was identified. Okay, take a deeper look. Yep, Jesely Brett. I'm still not sure if I'm saying her name right, but... Jesely Brett, female, British. Time of death, 11th of August at around 2 p.m. Ascertained by examination and witness statements. Let's see what the cause of death was. Single deep stab wound from behind. Piercing a lung and resulting in a fatal hemorrhage. Sounds painful. Death would have occurred within minutes. Okay, so she didn't die right away, it seems. Extreme meiosis. Pupil constriction was observed in the victim in both eyes. Ooh, I wonder how that'll come into play. But I'm sure it will. Okay? These are the people we have. Yep, there's my girl. So when I was playing the tutorial of the last game, I was certain she would come back. In the first game though. I thought she'd be almost like a pivotal part of this. And now she is returning, but as a dead woman, so that's very interesting. Let's start here though. Yujin Mikutoba, a medical school professor at the Imperial Yume University. He is an authority in forensic medicine in charge of the university's laboratory. He also happens to be my father. And there's Rei Mebami. Okay, she's only 16. My best friend, who works as an assistant to my father in his laboratory at the Imperial Yume University. She's the defendant in this case. Okay, cool. Jesely Brett is 25, or was 25. The victim of the case. It says right there, the victim of the case who was a former British exchange student. 9 months ago, she was found guilty of the murder of visiting Professor Dr. John Wilson. Yep, that was the first case of the last game. I'm still not sure who the victim is. This is a tough one, isn't it? Taketsuchi Ouchi, 52, old man. The lead prosecutor of this case, who appears to be struggling to accept the changes afoot. As a result of these turbulent new times in Japan, the Meiji era. Okay, so, I'm assuming since this is a tutorial, they won't take any health off of me. But there is a trophy for naming Mikutoba and Ouchi as the victim. So I'm going to do that. And for the heck of it, I'll do Mombami too, just because that'll be hilarious since she's the defendant. I'm like, that'll be even funnier, I feel, than these two. So, normally I wouldn't bother with that, but I'll do anything for the trophies. I'm waiting, counsel. What is the name of the victim in this case? Oh, okay, it gives me options. Okay, so I don't pick from the, Let's start with, Mikutoba. Just want to save my game, just in case. The victim in this case is none other than Professor Yujin Mikutoba. It has to be. What? Well, to be written off by one's own child. Are you stupid or something? Father, you seem suddenly so much older and wearier than you were mere moments ago. You must be on the verge of death, if nothing else. Because of you, clearly! The judge is asking for the victim's name. The person who was killed in this case. I'm standing right next to you, idiot! I thought maybe you're a ghost? Never mind. Look through the information in the court record again, carefully. Before you kill me, for mercy's sake. Oh dear. I simply can't ignore that disapproving look. Your Excellency, please allow me to amend my answer. Very well, I'll excuse this incorrect response, giving you a wide-eyed state of panic. What is the name of the victim in this case? That was stupid of me. It's clearly Takatsuchi Ouchi. The victim in this case is, yes, Prosecutor Takatsuchi Ouchi. What? Why the triumphant cry of yes? Are you threatening to kill me? He seems angry. Well, I mean, oftentimes the prosecutor is the bad guy, so I'm just following patterns here. And you're surprised? Did you consult the court record? You must look through it carefully. Oh yes, I did, of course. I looked at everyone on file, and that was what I came up with. And I chose the person whose features appeared to be the most deathly. Yeah, I am a good lawyer. I just followed my gut. He looks evil. I must say, this most unusual methodology of yours leaves me almost speechless. It occurs to me with renewed certainty that reading the information carefully is vitally important. I strongly recommend it, for God's sake. Oh dear, I simply can't ignore that imploring look. There we go. Alright, the father's called Father Frustrator. I would say I succeeded. Your Excellency, please allow me to amend my answer. Very well, for goodness sake. I'll excuse this incorrect response again, giving you a wide-eyed state of panic. Okay, fine. Jusely Brett, I guess.
Yes.
Oh, she's doing it. I said he. She's doing the hand, the raising of the hand. One of Naruhodo's signature, stances. The name of the victim who lost her life in this case is Miss Jusely Brett, I think. I'm just guessing at this point. He's like, no shit. Jusely Brett. A name that will never be forgotten in the courtrooms of our country, I'm sure. Correct. Ding, ding, ding. And being a member of our Empire Judiciary, you will be well aware of the signature of that name. So, let me pose another simple question. As you know, Miss Brett was a visiting student from the Empire of Great Britain. Why, then, is her name indelibly associated with our own Empire's judicial history? Obviously, if you won't have forgotten that case from 9 months ago. But if it's proving hard to recall the finer points, everything you need is included in the court record. Obviously, I still remember. Duh. I have not given you any reason to doubt me. That was the start of everything. Jusely Brett, behind the woman student persona, was the face of... should I? At this point, we're just having fun. I'm in the weeds. I want to at least do this one, because this sounds hilarious. Bang! I'm positive. Queen Victoria, obviously. Okay, get him out of here. He's clearly on drugs. Obviously not. The Queen of England, studying overseas? I thought it sounded a little odd. Leave me out of this. I want nothing to do with you. I'm sure you know all the details of the case in question from 9 months ago. Oh yes, how could I forget? I know every last detail about it. Then what on earth was that absurd answer you just gave? Okay, I'm gonna pick the right one this time. That one just seemed really funny. I'm not gonna do this all the time, because obviously later on in the game, you know, they're gonna start penalizing me. No more absurdity, please, counsel. You will amend your answer. Yes, of course, Your Excellency. Do they both have to call my answer absurd? I mean, it's warranted. Behind the women's student persona was the face of... Okay, she was a killer.
Yes.
9 months ago, a visiting professor of medicine at the Imperial Yume University was killed. And the culprit was... Jusely Brett. Yes, she was a killer. At the time, our country had just signed on a new treaty with the Empire of Great Britain. and it was in the midst of this delicate diplomatic situation that the incident occurred. An Englishman, Dr. John H. Wilson, was shot dead. I believe he was an associate of yours, Professor Mikotoba. That he was. Yes. Wait, who was talking before? I was talking as him. Yes, I was indebted to the man. He'd been my mentor when I went to London to study forensic medicine. Indeed, it was I who invited him here to Japan as a visiting professor at the university. Naturally, the murder of an Englishman on our soil was a matter the government wished to resolve rapidly. Yes, it was like an international affair, so it created problems for, for Japan. Indeed it was, which is why a secret trial was conducted here at the Supreme Court. Oh, that's right. I kind of forgot Naruhodo was the defendant, right? He was defending himself. He wasn't a lawyer yet. A student of the Imperial Yume University was arrested on suspicion of murder. A second-year English language student by the name of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Your cousin. What are the odds? Ah, Kazuma, I miss thee. With the help of his best friend, a student lawyer, the accused conducted his own defense. That's right, he was my mentor, and there she is. And exposed the despicable crime committed by Miss Jessie Brett. Again, I love that this case is inexplicably tied to that one. Makes it so interesting. Miss Brett eventually admitted to her crime. However, when questioned about the motive that drove her to take Dr. Wilson's life, she gave no satisfactory answer before the trial reached its conclusion. Yeah, we never actually got... Again, that's why I thought that she'd come back in the game. Like, we'd get... That case would, kind of do a 180 and come back, but it never did. Until now. Immediately after the trial, the British government brought its consular jurisdiction into play. We were unable to sentence Miss Brett according to our empire's laws. It was decided that she would be removed to Shanghai, China instead. That's right, I remember that. Why Shanghai? There's a British consular court there. Correct. I oversaw the negotiations personally. The date of a transfer to Shanghai was finally settled upon only last week. All that remained of our empire's obligations was to see the woman safely on board a steamship. And that's where we left off that case. And yet, the very day before our departure, the English woman was killed. Wait a minute. Oh! Okay, so we're going way back. I guess I'm just so used to in these games somebody dying and then the court happened like the next day, which I know isn't how real trials work. But in these games, that is how it works. You literally have like an investigation and the next day you're back in court, so... Okay, so this is more in line with how a trial would actually work. It's been months and months, but we're finally having the trial for a death that happened way back, basically very soon after that first trial in the last game. Cool. Only the day before? Yeah. My thoughts exactly. That will do. I'm satisfied the counsel for the defense is sufficiently capable of representing the defendant. I don't know why. He gave some silly answers, but... Oh. Thank you, Your Excellency. Over the first hurdle. Now, a summary of the incident, if you please. Prosecutor Ouchie. As is your wish, Your Excellency. The repugnant crime took place on the 11th August in broad daylight. Okay, we're getting the summary. Ooh, beautiful island. On the outskirts of the imperial capital under a bright blue sky, at a secluded bathing spot by the sea. The incident occurred inside a small beach hut, erected for bathers to rest or change their clothes. The cause of death was a single stab wound to the posterior abdomen that pierced the victim's lung. An injury which An injury which proved fatal. Very interesting. Is the bird okay? That's the question. There were two persons alone together in the beach hut at the time of the victim's death. Miss Brett, in her bathing attire, and the accused, Ray Membami. Was she in bathing attire? I mean, it was kind of darkened, the picture. It looked like she was in her normal outfit. Unless it just seemed that way because of the hat. Okay, so Ray Membami was in there. Accordingly, there can be no doubt of the accused's guilt, especially when we consider she had a powerful motive. The police arrived rapidly at the scene and promptly arrested the young lady. What was her motive? Again, it's always one of those things where it's like, the victim was there, and the accused, and nobody else. So it's like, it seems so cut and dry, but then obviously we get evidence and we learn things, and it's not so black and white. Well, that extraordinary description of events leaves me somewhat lost for words, I must say. It was beautiful. That's certainly true. The prosecution's summary was full of words that raise an awful lot of questions. As a lawyer, I really ought to pick up the prosecution counsel on what he said about... Yeah, what I want to know about the motive. Certainly. You're clearly exaggerating. Powerful motive is a blatant overstatement. Tut tut tut! Is the yokel boy using long words he doesn't fully understand? Sit down. I beg your pardon. Don't make me jump over this counter. No matter, let us put this to the accused, shall we? Membami-san, you are a research assistant at the Imperial Yomi University, I believe? Yes, I am. I am working with Professor Mikutoba in his laboratory at the moment. I can confirm that. The defendant is an excellent assistant with a strong sense of responsibility. Fascinating to hear. Now another question. Prior to your work with Professor Mikutoba, whose research were you assisting then? Oh, well, that's for me to know and you to never find out. I was studying under Dr. John H. Wilson, of course. It all comes back to him. Dr. Wilson, who is also Iris's father from the last game. I know she'll be in this game, I'm pretty sure. The visiting English professor who was murdered by Miss Brett 9 months ago. It all comes back around. It's all connected. Everything is connected. The accused had a deep-seated respect for her former mentor, Dr. Wilson. Okay, so he's suggesting that it was revenge or something. Where, you know, she went to avenge Dr. Wilson's death because she was the one who killed him. Or, you know, Jeslie Brett was the one who killed him. So the accused had a deep-seated respect for her former mentor, Dr. Wilson. Is that not true? Yes. Dr. Wilson was a wonderful man. Interesting. Then tell the court what deep-seated feelings you had towards the Englishwoman who killed him. Well, obviously I was filled with hatred for what she'd done. A powerful hatred. I mean, she was Oh no, Ray! Be careful what you're saying. Don't make it so obvious. I mean, I wanted to marry her. The motive was revenge. Plain and simple, Your Excellency. That checks out. Well, it was clearly a trap all along. How wicked of him to use Ray's undying respect for her former mentor against her like that. I must find out more details and something we can use to bolster our defense. As a lawyer, I really ought to pick up the prosecution counsel on what he said about... Yeah, let's talk about this now. Membami-san. Yes? What is it, Suza? Oh god. Naruhodo-san, that's it. I'm really starting to wish we'd made my alias Ryutaro's Susato. Yeah, right? That would have been a much better cover. Probably wouldn't have worked, though. Please tell the court why exactly you were present at the bathing spot with the victim in the first place. And why you were alone with her. Oh. Well, no. That's not true. It wasn't like that at all. We weren't making out on the beach. There were other people present. A detective who was guarding Miss Brett for starters. I was just asked to accompany Miss Brett as a companion. That's all. Really? But let us be clear. At the moment of her death, you were alone together with the victim in the hut. You and no one else. The truth is, there's only one reason why this young woman accompanied Miss Brett on her bathing sojourn. It was the accused's last chance to take the victim's life. Don't buy it. No! Because, as we know, the following day would see Miss Brett extradited to the British authorities in Shanghai. Yeah, then she'd be out of her reach. And the accused would never have an opportunity to dispatch her again. Yeah, this sucks. Slam! Kindly refrain from conjecture, Counsel. Counsel? Haha! That's my middle name! The prosecution counsel seems to enjoy using provocative tricks like that. But for now, at least, we need to assemble more facts. Try not to let him goad you. I will try. Oh dear, this is really terrifying. My father's right. We need more information. Okay. Now the first thing, the bathing spot. If I may, Prosecutor Ouchie, a question? What do you want, you fresh-faced young yokel student? Can you shut up? I wonder, could you explain, please? You mentioned a bathing spot? Ha! My apologies! Clearly my modernity has confused the poor country bumpkin's simple mind. Bathing spots are the very latest trend in health practices from the West. Yes, I know what a bathing spot is. We are told that bathing in the water of the ocean is curative, therapeutic, and excellent for the skins. No, that's not what I meant, you idiot. I was referring to the fact that Miss Brett had, to all intents and purposes, been found guilty of murder. Why would a known criminal have been relaxing by the sea? Good point, that's what I want to know. Don't worry about it. For old time's sake, I believe. Sorry? Miss Brett was... Oh my gosh. Miss Brett was to depart for Shanghai the following day. Her final wish, as it were, was to enjoy a day at her country's wonderful coast. Was that really, or did she have another reason for being there? And the British Embassy put extreme pressure on our government to comply. But on what grounds would we agree to such a request? Yeah. Because, as usual, our government is unable to stand up to foreign powers, yep. In matters of diplomacy, it seems we don't even have the courage to decline the whims of a known criminal. Don't look at me, Professor! It was the government who granted permission, not I! In any case, it was decided that with a dedicated detective on duty, nothing could go wrong. And who was the detective? It's not Gregson, right? Did he go to jail? Watch it, Sholmes. That wouldn't make sense, I don't think. Why would he be here? But in fact, a murder took place. I said don't look at me. It was that young student girl who did it, not I. I'm innocent, I tell you. No one has proved that yet. I wouldn't provoke the man if you don't need to. Okay, that's it. That's it for all the questions. I believe we all have a clear picture of the incident now. Despite her guilt being determined 9 months ago, Miss Brett managed to avoid incarceration, instead continuing her research work at the university. Obviously, over that period, she and Ray would have encountered each other on a number of occasions. Seeing the murder of the mentor for whom she had such great respect, enjoying such undeserved liberty, I would have killed her myself. I mean, what? Yes, even if it was only temporary until Miss Brett's extradition to Shanghai. You can hardly blame Ray for feelings of anger and resentment. Poor Ray. So, Your Excellency, if you'd be so kind as to peruse this exhibit. A photographic print that shows the scene of the crime, immediately following the grim incident. Here it is. Okay. Yes, thank you, Counsel. A tragic image. Okay, there she is lying on the ground. Stab in the back. I see a case there. Nothing really stands out. Her face mask. Interesting, okay. The only thing that stands out to me, because there's certain things I always look for, is that you can't see her face. I mean, her mask isn't even on, but her hat is covering her face from that picture. I don't know if that has anything to do with anything. And yeah, that doesn't look like bathing attire. As you can clearly see, there's nowhere within the hut that anyone else could have hidden. The court will accept this photographic print as evidence. The photograph of the crime scene has been entered into the court record. Crime scene photograph. Photographic print of the scene taken by police just after the incident occurred. The stab wound in the victim's back is clearly visible. As I understand it then, the victim and the defendant were alone inside the beach hut at the time. This is deeply troubling, I must say. The finger of guilt points firmly at the defendant. Well, Your Excellency, naturally the prosecution has much more to its case. Uh-oh. We intend to prove the accused appalling actions beyond all possible contention. To that end, I can confirm that we have multiple witnesses to the crime, and damning evidence. Witnesses? But who? I wonder who would have witnessed it. We were supposed to be alone in the tent, were we not? Maybe somebody saw us go in together? Ray seems surprised, maybe. One of whom, I might add, is a highly respected police detective. I assure you, the testimony of these witnesses will leave no room for doubt. Here we go, let's see. Very well then, counsel. Bring forth your witnesses. I, Takatsuki Ouchie, have been waiting oh my gosh. My voice keeps cracking. Have been waiting for this moment. Sorry? Oh yes, I haven't forgotten. That trial 9 months ago, here in this very courthouse. When that irreverent little student boy utterly humiliated me. I'm seeking revenge of my own. And since he's not here, I will take it up on you. Ryunosuke Naruhodo? Oh, I forgot he didn't have that hair. What? Yes? This insult to the Ouchie family name will never be forgotten. You've become conceited with age, counsel, but the old hat have to stand aside and make way for the new. It's the way of the world. May you never forget that. Or else I'll slice your head off. Kazuma's so cool. Oh, that's right. That's right. And he loved the hairstyle so much he kept it. Strike the head of a samurai whose top knot has been cut, and the bell of cultural enlightenment tolls. Okay, that's a cool little detail that I'm glad they kept. Yes, on that fateful day, my former self died. The start of your own mini Meiji revolution. Are you modernizing as well, counsel? Silence, you impudent scoundrel! Since I swore revenge back then, there has been a minor miracle atop my head. Observe the Ouchie growth. You see the seed of hope sprouting forth from the barren expanse of my crown? I think that tiny growth is trying to tell me something. It speaks to me. I'm afraid I can't really see. Where's the hope exactly? I said silence! Today I face another yokel student of the Naruhodo clan. Well, I will vanquish you. And my victory will be fertilizer for the seed of hope atop my head. You have been warned. With that, the prosecution called the witnesses to the stand. It looks like the stakes are high on both sides in this trial. The prosecution and defense each has much to lose. A haircut is hardly comparable to Ray's life, I would agree. But... oh my gosh, it's him! Wait a minute. Oh, I know both of them. Witnesses, please state your name and occupation for the court. Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonaga, Imperial Police Bureau. I'm in disguise, obviously, so I can go undetected. Oh, gosh. Oh, so he was at the bathhouse? He was probably the detective who was with Ray. Suzuki, that's right. And I am, well, the next big thing in books. An author renowned throughout the capital, in fact, yes. Soon to be sold out, the satirical I Am a Cat, a sensational success. Success by Suzuki Natsume. Oh my gosh, he's got his own little, photographer journalist. Yes, that's it. Pose for me, baby. Oh my goodness. So I guess he's become a highly successful author. Struggling student from the provinces, please. You needn't be in awe of me. I needn't? Okay. It's only natural that you feel nervous in my presence. But all of you, please relax. Call me Suzuki, even. Yes. Whatever. What on earth is Suzuki-san doing here? That's right. I guess neither of them are gonna recognize her. Tread carefully, Susato. That author fellow knows you from your time in London, doesn't he? If he exposes you for who you really are, this will be over before it's begun. Yes. Yes, of course, I know. I presume Suzuki-san won't have forgotten about me. I could certainly never forget him. Although he does seem to have changed somewhat in the 6 months or so that's been since I last saw him. And as for Inspector Hosonaga, that amazing outfit is hard to believe. Do you like it? This is my beach attire. Do I have something on my face? Nope, just on your head. Oh, a turtle. Well, your glasses for one. Although they don't seem to be helping you see. Thank goodness he hasn't recognized me either. Oh, I suppose it's this disguise, is it? That'll be it. I thought that appearing here in the clothes I was wearing at the time would make me a more faithful testimony. It is my guiding principle to carry out all testimonies flawlessly. Well, I can appreciate why an Imperial Police Bureau detective might have been present. But what business did a writer such as yourself have being at the scene, Suzuki-san? Oh, well, you see, I had been asked that day to give a lecture on the morning of the incident in the Imperial Yume University's Grand Lecture Hall, no less. At Yume University? After the lecture, I had a very pleasant conversation with the researcher from the Medical Science Department. The professor over there, in fact. With with Professor Mikutaba. Oh man, you guys really suck at this. Yes, that's right. It was arranged by one of the newspapers. They wanted some story or other about two former students who'd studied in Great Britain. Of course, being a renowned author, the press never leave me alone. They secretly spy, snap shots, scribble stories, and scupper my privacy. As you can see, the conversation was written up in this newspaper here. Read it at your leisure, my provincial, struggling student friend. I have plenty of copies. Thank you very much. You practically threw that paper at me. Okay. The Suzuki Natsume article. A newspaper containing an article about a discussion between my father and Suzuki-san. The debate became quite spirited. Anyway, following my interview with the professor... Can we get a deeper look at that? Okay. Oh, is that Waggy? I thought we took Waggy in. Well, that's a different cat. Okay. You don't see anything that stands out? I looked at that already. I looked at both of those. Okay. Satoru Hosonaga, Chief Inspector of the Imperial Police Bureau, who was surreptitiously submerged in the sea in order to keep watch over Miss Brett. He was present at the time of her murder. Suzuki Natsume, a former visiting student to the Buddhist Empire who returned to Japan after a spell of bad luck with the law. He's now a successful author and a witness in the current case. The lady in question appeared and made a very unexpected announcement. I should like to go with everyone to see your country's coast. Those were her words. As I explained before, Miss Brett was never taken into custody. She continued to work in my laboratory, under strict surveillance, of course. At which utterance, the university immediately contacted the government to seek guidance. And the response was, permit Miss Brett to go as long as the detective accompanies her. That detective I'm at liberty to divulge was me, Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonaga. Thereby the entire party departed cordially for the seaside, it seems. It was extremely challenging to clear all other members of the public from the vicinity of the beach. Oh yeah, he got that cough. I can relate at the moment. I have a pretty annoying cough myself. But fortunately, I'm at a peak physical fitness at the moment, so I was able to carry out my duty flawlessly. Oh my. Inspector, you... Well, you do have something on your face now. Is it blood? Oh, how unsightly. I do apologize. I don't know if we ever got a... I'm trying to remember. Did he ever explain... Do we ever get an answer or explanation as to why he's coughing up blood all the time? I'm trying to remember. Does that mean that you went to the beach too, Father? No. Fortunately, I had work to finish off. But unfortunately, of course, it meant that as my assistant, Ray was invited to take my place. Of course, being a renowned author, I didn't like to decline the invitation. But if only I had, I'd never have seen that awful sight. Relentlessly racked by remorse and regret. Yep, show those moves, what's her name? Suzuki. Very well, I must now ask you to present your formal testimony to the court. You will give an account of all that you witnessed on your impromptu excursion to the coast. Of course, Your Excellency. Relentlessly racked by remorse and regret I am. Okay, the witness scene. Well, you know what, guys? I think this is a good place to stop. We're about to enter a testimony, and I've been going on for a little while now. Plus, it's going to take me some time to get back into the voice actor thing. My throat's already killing me. I just got over a cold recently, so I still have like a lingering cough. And even my nose is a little stuffy. So, so I kind of want to make them reasonably sized episodes, because if I go too long, it'll just kill my voice. Hopefully I'll have more, I guess, stamina is not the right word, but I'll be able to go on longer. Once I start to get a little better. I mean, I'm not sick currently, but I still have some lingering side effects, if you will. But yeah, so far so good. So again, this is really cool. I'm so happy to be playing as Susato. She actually looks cute in the boys' school outfit, so I'm glad we get to see that. It is interesting. Like I said, it's kind of like a Mulan situation where she has to, she's not allowed to practice law as a girl, so she has to pretend to be a boy. And it makes me wonder if we'll be playing as Susato a lot in this game. I'm hoping we play with her more than just this tutorial. I'm hoping they're not just using her as an excuse to, because we need somebody who's like a rookie lawyer, somebody who's new. For the first case, I hope they're not just using her, and then we play as Ryunosuke the entire game. Of course, we are going to play as Ryunosuke, and I want to. He's awesome as well. But I definitely want to play as Susato as well. But we'll see what happens. We'll see how that goes. And yeah, and like I said, it's cool to see Jesli Brett back, even though she's a victim now, she's dead. But again, it's all coming full circle. First case of the last game, first case of this game. And I'm trying to think if we've ever seen that in an Ace Attorney game. Each game usually has their own kind of interconnected stories. So a lot of times you'll have like the tutorial case or whatever will tie into the game later on, but it usually isn't cross over from one game to the next. So yeah, so it's cool to see that both first cases are deeply connected to each other. So yeah, I'm excited to see what happens in this case, who the killer could even be. Because I don't think whoever it is, I don't think we've met them yet. I doubt it's either of these two. A lot of times it is a witness. I mean, it could be one of these two, but something tells me it's not, because these are like I feel like these guys are recurring characters that we've seen before. But who knows? So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the first episode. There'll be a lot more to come. Please go ahead and lick the like button. Do it. Don't question it. Just do it. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so we know when more videos go up. Share the video and the channel with all your friends, family, and loved ones, and I'll see you next time. So take care, and bye-bye.